had a family issue involving one of his children, surgery, I think, that's supposed to take place tomorrow. So, regrettably, he won't be here, but we are fortunate to have two actual candidates with us this evening, and they're really the most relevant candidates for the purposes of Jefferson Township, because we have Rick Stream, who's running in the new 90th district, and Elizabeth Deal, who's running in the, but it's still the 91st. Elizabeth is still called the 91st, or
the new 91st. Yeah.
The new 91st. Okay. All right. And
those are both state rep candidates.
And these are very important races, and following the axiom of ladies first, Elizabeth, would you like to tell us about your campaign and how it's going and any events that you have planned?
Hi everyone, I'm Elizabeth Deal, and I'm running for state rep in the 91st, which the new 91st is Crestwood, Shrewsbury, most of Webster Groves, and a sliver of the city, and I think a very small sliver of Glendale, about 2 or 3 streets. And I'm running primarily, I think we need more business leaders in government, and I also think we need more legislators who are willing to bridge the divide between the two parties to get things done. I hear that a lot when I'm on the campaign trail. My background, I owned a business in Kirkwood and worked at the NASDAQ stock market for many years, and I did my MBA at WashU, so I'm very like-minded like that. And I have a family, I have a church, and let's see, the race is going well. I'm knocking on as many doors as I can get to, and always looking for volunteers, anyone so desires. We have a fundraiser coming up on October 17th, and Molly Barrett is the ringleader on that, so if you have any questions, she can help you, and you're all invited.
Molly, do you want to say something about the fundraiser?
Sure. It's on October 17th, as Elizabeth alluded to, and it's at Westboro Country Club. We've got Tim Jones, Ann Wagner, and now Rick Stream also as part of the panel in support of Elizabeth. And just come, 6:30 to 8:30. Your food, dessert, wine, and cheese. So, but I'll be getting emails and regular invitations out to you.
Do you need help going door to door? And if so, how would you get in touch with you?
Okay. The things that I do really need help with are volunteers to go door to door with me, and polling day, I need...
Your cell phone number's on your business cards.
Oh, are my business cards over there?
Yeah, so if you want to volunteer, you can get a hold of her directly.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so my cell phone is on my brochures and on my business card. So, and I've got 3, I handed out, and I've gotten 3 calls so far. So what I'll say, poll workers, I think I have 22 polling places, and then all day to cover. And just maybe wear a t-shirt, one of my t-shirts, and say my name. As people are walking in, it's not too hard. Yes, I do have yard signs, and that's another thing I need help delivering those around town and to the polling places. Those are some of my primary needs. And the district is about 47% Republican. So we definitely have to convert some people in order to make this happen.
And if some of you aren't familiar, she's running against Jean Kirkton, so she's pretty well known, so it's a big job.
Jean Kirkton. She's one of the most liberal legislators. Right, Rick?
Yes. In a word, yes.
And see much activity on their side as far as campaigning?
Not really. I go some places and they say she's been there. Once that happened in Webster, once it happened in Crestwood. She put out no yard signs before the primary, except at the polling place. Didn't really participate in the Webster Groves parade. I mean, I think she did, but not a big contingency. We want to surprise, come from behind and surprise her. That's the plans.
If I might add, every Saturday from 1 to 3 o'clock are lip drops or door knocking walks for Elizabeth Steele, and you call Mitch Holbrook, he's somewhere around here, at the Victory office, and he'll arrange it all. And I have a flyer on the back table with his phone number on it.
And even if you can just do one Saturday,
Yes.
that's great. A couple of hours.
They'll put it all together, and you just show up at the Schnucks at Allen 44 and go for a walk.
And Mitch, isn't it true, are we still combined with some of the other campaigns?
Yeah,
right?
we're still we're working with Shane Scholler and Ed Martin. And we're also working with Rick Stream on certain days. There's a sign-up sheet in the back if anybody's interested in helping us with phones or handing out literature. We really could use a lot of help.
Yeah, so
all of our campaigns.
Right, when we go out on Saturdays, you're not going out just for me. You'll have my literature, but also Ed Martin, Shane Scholler, and Cole McNary.
Yeah.
And sometimes Ann Wagner. So,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Okay, our next speaker is really no introduction, but it's Rick Stream, who's one of the leaders in the General Assembly and is now our state rep because Glendale has been added to the 91st in the redistricting. So it's I'm very pleased that you're our state rep, and I was wondering if maybe you could say a few words about your campaign and also maybe the veto session and what's going on in Jefferson.
Great, thanks, Rich. I'm not your representative yet. I have to be reelected. I always tell people that. They said, well, you're the new budget chairman. I said, not until I'm reelected. I'm just the vice chairman right now. The campaign's going well, I have to say. Elizabeth is a great candidate. She's working hard. And if there's anything you can do to help her, if you live in her area, even if you don't, get out and help her, because in the state rep campaign, it's very important for the people to see at least the literature or activity for a candidate. Most people don't know who their state representative is. They don't know what district they live in, and they certainly don't know where the boundary lines of that district are. Sometimes even the candidates don't know where the boundary lines are. But, just name recognition in a state rep candidate's race is important. So if you get out and help her, great. And, have at it telling people that you want to bring Democrats and Republicans together. I never say that because I'm actually there. And I know that we do work together. Now, you'll never read about that in the Post-Dispatch or the Webster Times, because they're always looking for a way to stick it to Republicans as the mean, evil people who are just... I mean, can anybody remember in the last 10 years when there was a positive story about Republicans? No. So, and the matter of fact is that we do work well together down there. We've passed the budget the last 2 years, which I know is kind of strange in the U.S. Senate because they haven't passed the budget in 3 years. But we passed it every year, and the last 2 years it's been nearly unanimous when it came out of the Budget Committee. So we're working well together. Despite, I guess it's probably because the Governor Nixon, who's running as a conservative Republican governor now, says the claims that he brought Republicans and Democrats together on the budget. Which is really kind of funny because he hasn't had a single meeting with us in 6 years. All right, so enough about that. The veto session. We had, the governor vetoed a bunch of bills, 11 or 13, I can't remember exactly which ones. But there were two that we were going to try to override. The first one was the one that we did override, and that was on the religious freedom issue, Senate Bill 749. To allow individuals and businesses to offer the type of business that agrees with their conscience and their religious beliefs. We had passed that bill with 120-some-odd votes in May because we always get very strong Democratic support from the rural Democrats who are pro-life. And almost every single Republican always votes for the pro-life position. So we had a little difficulty on the veto override because the governor threatened Democrats on this one. And but we did. We got 109 votes. We have to have 109 votes to override. That's 2/3 of 163. So we did that. The other issue was I'll just for lack of a better term, the car tax. And you might have gotten these 8.5 by 11 glossy mailings about a month ago with a picture of probably me, since some of you are in this new district. They actually put the new representative. In other words, I was on the 90th district mailing, the new 90th, even though I still just represent the 94th. And John Deal was on the one that was mailed to my house. But basically, these were mailed out from the governor's 2016 campaign. He was running for either U.S. Senate or Vice President or President in 2016, Governor Nixon. And he's got a Washington outfit that's raising tons of money, and they mailed this stuff out. And they also did phone calls that you might have gotten too. What in the world is Rick Stream thinking? Raising taxes. Well, here's the deal. In 1949, the year I was born, the legislature passed a law saying that if Missourians bought cars across the border in the surrounding states at the day of them, they had to pay sales or use tax here in the state of Missouri. And for 62 years, that law was on the books and it was fine. Well, a state judge ruled in January that there was something unconstitutional about it. So I'll leave it to the lawyers in the room to answer that question. So within a couple of months, the car dealers on the borders of the state, in Kansas City and north along Iowa and south along Arkansas and Illinois, they began to see that their business was going across the border. And cars were being sold over there and brought back to Missouri because the people realized they could save up to $5,000 in taxes. So they came to us, the unions came to us, because when the dealerships lost business, who did they lay off? The union mechanics. So the unions wanted us to pass this bill, and the municipalities did, the municipal league, because the tax doesn't come to the state, it goes to the municipalities. They're the ones who collect the taxes, the taxes go to them. So we had three major groups ask us to pass the law again and fix the little problem that the judge had found. And we did. It wasn't in the dead of night. It wasn't at the last minute, like that flyer said. We passed it with a lot of open debate in the afternoon, if I recall. And it was a very spirited debate because a lot of Republicans thought we were trying to pass a new tax. I mean, you could theoretically be accused of trying to increase taxes. But we did get about 82 Republicans out of 104 and 44 Democrats out of 56. So we passed it with a huge majority, 125, 26 votes. The governor vetoed it because he wanted to be seen now and in 4 years from now as a governor who didn't raise taxes on people. So we got to our caucus meeting the night before veto session on September the 12th, and we discovered that we still had our 82 votes that had voted for it on the Republican caucus. Nobody had really shifted back or forth on it. But we discovered that the governor had threatened a lot of Democrats on the other side with running ads against them in the general elections. Now, this is a Democrat governor running ads against his fellow Democrats in the general election. I mean, it's gotten to the point over there. He is right in his TV ads when he says that he's brought the Republicans and Democrats together. He has, in their mutual dislike of government. The Democrats actually dislike him more than we do. Because they view him as really as just a traitor, basically. I mean, he promised money to him in the last two general elections in 28 and 2010 when he had tons of money. He hardly gave them anything. And they lost a lot of seats the last time. The shellacking the Democrats took nationwide was really evident here in Missouri. They lost 17 House seats in the Missouri legislature. So, and 3 Senate seats. And a lot of Democrats blamed Jay Nixon for not helping. Now, there was a tide throughout the country, of course, and in the state against Obama. But there is a lot of antipathy in the Democratic Party, especially in the Missouri House, among Democrats toward Governor Nixon. But he threatened them. And we could only count on 18 votes instead of the 44 that originally voted for this thing. So that would bring us up to 100. We needed 109, so we didn't bring it even up for a vote. So we're going to try to fix it when we go back in January, and we'll see. I mean, we're going to have the same dynamics. Nothing's really going to have changed. We're still going to have Republicans who aren't going to vote for it because it's viewed as a tax increase. I voted for it, by the way. Anything that's passed in the year I was born has to be good, right? But no, I voted for it because I thought it was a reinstatement of the tax, and I thought it was a good idea. But I don't know if the Democrats will come along this time, and if Nixon's still the governor, we hope not. If Dave Spence is the governor, he'll sign the bill. Jay Nixon's the governor, he'll veto it again, and I don't think we're going to be able to override it. But we'll try. We'll try to do it again. But that's basically what happened with the veto session. Regarding the campaign, like Elizabeth, we're out, every day knocking on doors and doing lip drops. We've got people out in the morning doing lip drops when you don't have to worry about waking up people or something. I'm not that early. And then in the afternoon, starting around 2 or 3, we'll hit the doors. So we're having a good response. Half the people aren't there when you knock on doors, of course. But we're also going to do some phone calling. Patrick McSwain has picked up the call lists if you want to help him. We're going to call Republicans, okay? Just Republicans. So it should be friendly. And what you're asking for them, don't ask them for any money. I won't say I don't need money, but we're not asking for, what we're asking for are yard signs and endorsements. We're going to try to do an endorsement ad that is not just a full page like we've done before. It's 2 pages in the Kirkwood Webster Times. I hate to pay them money, but it's the only way I can get good press in that newspaper. So I'll probably spend $8,000 to $10,000 on advertising in that paper. Just galls me, but you have to do it. So that's what we need, though, is yard signs and endorsements. So again, these will be the Republicans on the list. And if you know friends and things like that, sure, you can call them too. But he has the list, so Patrick, why don't you raise your hand just so everyone knows. That's Patrick, and go see him afterwards. It'll be friendly phone calls, I think. The other thing is I'm having a picnic tomorrow night at Kirkwood Park. This is our annual have fun with your family at the picnic from 5 to 7, Kirkwood Park in the Lions Pavilion. So if it's raining, we'll still be there. Barbecuing under the pavilion. There are 2 pavilions there, so we'll have both of them. It's $25 a family, so bring a whole bunch of people and claim they're your family. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it to get people out there, and we'll have yard signs, and we'll also have the bubble bus, Techno Bubbles. John Ryder has done this for me free every year because we send out 1,500 postcards, and he says I couldn't buy that kind of press for the $400 he charges for this, so he does it free for me. But come tomorrow at 5 o'clock, 5 to 7 at Kirkwood Park, and of course we need poll workers too, but help Elizabeth on that if you can. What we normally do is we just wear a sticker or wear a Rick Stream T-shirt. You're not handing anything out. You're just saying, please vote for Elizabeth or please vote for Rick. And that way there's no threat to anybody.
You running against the same person again?
I'm running against Deb Lavender. She's run against me twice before. She's remade herself, kind of like Jay Nixon. She's now a fiscal conservative. Which is a surprise because the last 2 elections she supported everything Obama did. And she has wanted to reinstate the Medicaid cuts that Matt Black did, which saved the Medicaid system in Missouri. So she thinks she can win. I've been warned by a couple of Democrats in the House who want me to come back as a budget chairman next year to not take her lightly. And she's raising money. She gets support from trial lawyers, unions, the abortion industry people, and the homosexual lobby. Those 4 groups are funding her and providing her with a lot of volunteers. Most of you, if you've lived in this district, the 90th district, which is all of the city of Kirkwood except for the precinct that I live in and the one that you live in, neither one of us live in the 90th. All of Glendale, except the very northern edge, Barron, for some reason. The west side of Barron is not in the 90th, the east side is. All of Oakland, all of Orson Woods. We've got one Jefferson Township, a precinct up there. And the western edge of Webster Groves, from Rock Hill Road west down to Lockwood, and 1 block south of Lockwood. So if you know anybody that lives in that area that is described, those people are in the new 90th, and they can put up a yard sign for me and vote for me. So she thinks because the district moved east in St. Louis County that it's better for a Democrat now. And she's partially right. She's partially right. The district I had before was, depending on the election, was about, if you run them all 10 together, it was like 50.3. Now I've been told, I don't know if it's true or not, that it's, I was told once it was 50.5, then I was told it was 49.4. Either way, I run like I'm 10 points behind, like Reagan says, and hopefully you win.
There you go. Good attitude.
We'll just keep working hard, and that's our goal. And with your help and the good Lord's blessing, I'll be back in the legislature in January, and I will be the budget chairman, which is remarkable for this average kid from Kirkwood. He'll now be in charge of a $24 billion budget. But that's the way it is. Yes, sir.
I was led to believe that there was a flaw in that car tax bill that was potentially unconstitutional because it was made retroactive. Is that true? And if that was taken out of the bill, then you passed this?
Well, when the judge ruled back in January, that, of course, that wasn't in there. When the bill we passed did have we did not make it, we did make it retroactive, which was a problem. I'm not sure it's unconstitutional, a lot of things.
Well, no, it's not sure until it's...
Yeah, somebody challenges it. But we passed the bill rather quickly, I would say. When I say quickly, I mean we started in March and we passed it in May. It went through all the committees, it had the debate on the floor, nobody caught it. So it was, if we could have gone back and done it again, we would have taken that out and said it's not retroactive. That will be a change that we'll make. I'm still not sure, having done that, I think Nixon will still veto it. We'll still get the Republicans to vote against it because it's perceived as a tax increase. So, but that was a mistake when we passed it. Right. Any other questions? I'll sit down. Thank you very much.
We have a lot of representatives from other campaigns, and I'd like to call on Russ to talk as a representative for Shane Scholler.
Sure.
Russ?
I'll be brief because no one likes to hear from a representative. But my name is Ross Branson. I work on Shane Scholler's campaign. I'm the St. Louis Regional Director for him. I also work for Ed Martin and HRCC, which I'm helping out on Elizabeth's race and a little bit on Rick's, but I think he's got a handle on it. Yeah. Basically, Shane's just zigzagging the state. He's going all over the place, going to Chamber of Commerce meetings, going to Republican Club meetings in every county across the state. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have regarding the Secretary of State's office or regarding Shane, but I really don't have too much to say except just kind of reiterating what everyone's saying is we need everyone to get involved for every race. We need everyone out making phone calls, door knocks, whatever, because if we help Elizabeth Deal or we help Rick Stream, it helps Shane Scholler and Ed Martin at the same time. The more Republican voters that we get out, or the more people that will vote Republican get out, we're going to win. So if you guys don't have any questions specifically about Shane, we've got a few other representatives I know that want to talk, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
I have a question.
Sure.
It's not about Shane. Is there any such thing as, like carpool or something to get people out to vote who cannot drive?
Getting people physically to the polls. Occasionally there's efforts like that, and they typically happen during presidential years. Do you have?
Well, there's always a lot of talk about that, and
Yeah.
we've organized something. We've tried to organize it really honest, we just don't have a lot of people, a lot of Republicans that take advantage of it. There's just not a tremendous demand.
Yeah.
I mean, for it on the Republican side.
I mean, if you personally know of somebody, or Robbie,
What we've done in campaigns for years is every campaign, as the calls come in for volunteers and different things, you just keep an ongoing list of people you find out needs rides. And then on election day, that campaign goes and designates a couple people to
Definitely.
pick them up. Each campaign should be doing that.
and I think that happens more on the local level than
State rep campaigns, I know, and
Yeah.
state senate.
I think it happens more locally than it does statewide, but definitely. Or if you know of somebody that's needing a ride to the polls, I mean,
I was
if
just
you
gonna
can,
say,
volunteer
Catherine, if you know
yourself.
people that need a ride, let me know.
Or yeah.
And I'll work with the campaign to get somebody there.
I mean, we have staffers, and a lot of different campaigns have staffers, and a lot of times your election day activities involve poll working, sign waving, and things like that. But we can pull people away from that type of stuff to be able to drive people to the poll. So we can do it to a certain extent, but like Jackie said, there's not always a
Ross,
rush.
I have a question for Shane specifically. What is his position on cleaning up the voter rolls in Missouri?
Cleaning up the voter rolls, he's going to do it.
Really?
No, he's a very large proponent for voter ID, so for voter identification, and so definitely be pushing very hard for that. Given Robin Carnahan, it's been pretty terrible up to this point. I mean, Shane tells a lot of stories about, I think there was one story he told, there was a guy who voted out of Chicago, voted in Chicago and voted in St. Louis. Was it 2008 election? Was it the presidential, Jackie, do you remember? I want to say it was 2008, whenever that happened. But it's a very real threat, as most of us already know, and a lot of you know. I'm not from St. Louis, but a lot of it has happened in St. Louis through Acorn and other different mobilization organizations. It definitely does happen, and so Shane is all about wanting to crack down on these groups and bring voter ID to Missouri. Yes, sir.
Kind of wish you'd answer her question though, because I think there's probably a much bigger problem with voter rolls and
Purging the voter rolls?
Yeah.
Well, I know there is an effort.
Can it be done on a statewide basis, or does it have to?
Oh, yeah. No, it can definitely be done on a statewide basis. And actually, currently, Robin Carnahan has not been involved. I forget, and I'll try to answer the specific questions as much as I can, but more than welcome to email Shane or anybody else. He's very responsive. But my understanding is that, I don't know the title of the organization, there's a group that is working with all the Midwest states on...
Through the vote.
Through the vote, yeah.
Through the vote.
Through the vote.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if that's what it's called or not. But,
vote?
Through the vote. And I'm the St. Louis County Coordinator, and you're looking at the voter rolls.
Oh.
And they came to my house. And did you help them?
Yeah, I go by Mary Catherine, somebody put a K down, I didn't write the whole thing out, so they thought it wasn't registered. So now I have to go out and Mary.
I don't know if that's the organization that I was thinking of, but there's someone that's dealing with all the Secretary of States in the Midwest states. And currently, Robin Carnahan is the only state that is bordering Missouri that is not participating in this, state lines voter roll purge. And so when Shane gets in, he's definitely going to be participating in that system to crack down on the people that go across state lines voting on different elections.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks, Ross.
Thanks.
Lori from the Board of Election, you want to say a few words?
I would just like to urge everyone here to take one of our cards and find a friend to work in the polls, not outside of the polls. Because we need them to keep things straight in the polls, and we have a hard time finding people in North County, particularly Republicans. We've had a lot of people sign up this last week, and I can't tell you how many of them are Democrats. It's like probably 12 to 1. So it would be nice if everybody knows just one person they can kind of nag for us and have them call. We would love to sign them up. Thanks, and we pay.
It's very important that we have enough poll workers. I called the Board of Elections today. They are still short 370 Republican poll workers.
Oh, that's a shame.
Jefferson Township still is short 8, but we got 2 more tonight.
Right.
What are the hours that poll workers work?
From 5 in the morning until the polls close and beyond to close the poll.
And they split the shifts?
Excuse me?
Can they split the shifts?
No. There's no splitting of shifts because we don't have enough people. If they would have more people, it probably is something they could entertain, but there's never enough people. It's very important. The whole system is based on having a Republican and a Democrat perform each function. They check each other. If you don't have enough Republicans, what happens? They cannot check their work. It's critical that we have enough Republicans. And for some reason, Republicans always complain about this thing is rigged, it doesn't work, but yet they don't want to do anything about it. Okay, next. Jackie. Jackie Winship is here, and she's going to tell us a little bit about Dave. Dave Spence, the governor.
Hi, thank you all. As Rita said, I'm Jackie Winship, and first I'm just going to apologize that I have no yard signs with me. I'm really sorry. I've got a bunch of volunteers coming in to make more yard signs tomorrow, and it's just been a little bit hectic in our campaign all across the state. And just a couple of things, and then I'll take any questions, but I'm going to try to hit some of the things that everyone asks me. Everybody asks me, how's the campaign going? How's the campaign going? We feel like the campaign's going really well. You may have noticed that we did go back up on television. We were we didn't have ads running after the primary during the convention. So the conventions have a tendency to suck up all of the attention and media, so we weren't trying to compete with that. But during that time, Jay Nixon was up, and he didn't move the needle at all. He didn't gain anything. So we're within single digits of Jay, and we feel good about that. Jay has a new negative ad out that maybe you've seen, and maybe you have questions. It's just flat out a big lie. And even, the one, Dave is not a banker, does not own a bank, and he was on the board of Reliance Bank Shares, but he was not on the board when they voted to take the TARP money. So it's banker Dave Spence, and Dave Spence's bank should pay back on. And I saw a piece where Mike Mahoney out of Kansas City did a fact check on this and was pretty honest about it. So that comes up a lot. You know, people say, what about this TARP thing? And it's all they've got, and they would like to talk about that rather than Jay Nixon's horrific record. And Dave has been endorsed by the Farm Bureau, the Missouri Chamber of Commerce, which I saw another thing. I saw a letter in the Post-Dispatch that Senator Tim Green wrote, which saying, I can't believe the Chamber of Commerce endorsed Dave Spence when Jay Nixon's done so much for business. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? I mean, we are 50th in job creation. We are dead last. And we're in 49th and 47th and 48th in a bunch of statistics. So a lot of people don't realize we are kind of at the bottom of the barrel. It's not just that it's been a recession and things have been tough all over. Things are bad, and they are. Jay vetoed several pieces of legislation that were the Chamber's goals to make this a more business-friendly state, make us less. We are the easiest state in the nation to get sued in, and there were some bills that went through the legislature to do that, and just to fix some things and make us more competitive, a place where business would want to come, and he vetoed all of those. So, no, he is not a friend of business. He is a friend to the labor unions and the trial attorneys, and those are his big donors, and they own him. So it is important, and a lot of people don't realize that he plays the game well. A lot of people don't realize how dangerous and how much he has done to hurt Missouri and to keep Missouri from moving forward and being a more competitive state where businesses want to come and where we can grow jobs. So Dave is a proven businessman, very successful, job creator. He understands what we need to do. He can do a very good job as governor, and I'll answer any questions people have later. Other thing comes up a lot is debates. We had one debate on Friday. Last Friday, just so you know, we have accepted 5 invitations for debates. That includes the one that was last Friday with the Missouri Press Association. As far as we know, Jay has not accepted any other invitations, so I cannot tell you if there are going to be any more debates or not. I don't know that. I know that we are willing to.
Takes 2 to tango, right?
Yeah. But again, I'm trying to come up with the things that people ask me all the time. Like everyone, we need help. If people go down to Victory, headquarters and to do the phone banking there. We're part of that. That's helpful for us. It's
There's
right
a
by the brewery.
sheet on the back.
There's a sheet that
That
shows
we
the
make
victories.
copies.
Same place as in Martin.
Yes, and Martin, Shane, everyone, the Victory headquarters. So there's phone banking down there. We will need people at the polls as well as everyone else on election day. And it's a little more challenging for us because we have this whole state. Any questions, anybody?
I have a comment. On Dave Spence's website, he has the stats for how poorly the state of Missouri is doing. I mean, if everybody copy and pasted those stats and sent it to 20 people on your email list, they'll send it hopefully to 20 more people. They're frightening, they're so bad. They'll make you sick, actually. Our state is doing so badly under Jay Nixon, it's unbelievable at this point. So if you get on that website and look at those and can cut and paste them or copy and paste them, it's just real easy to do that and send them out. I think that more than anything that I've seen in the last 2 months, those figures should shock everybody and really motivate people to get out the vote.
It's true, and they're not, these are facts. They're not attacks, they're just facts. You know, the only thing we're number one in is meth. So, I mean, yeah, no. Meth. We do. We have our work cut out for us because he's trying to pretend that he's a, you know, you can't even tell he's a Democrat from his ad. And a lot of things that Rick said are true, and a lot of people, unless you spend time in Jeff City, you don't know this. You don't know that the Democrat legislators don't hear from him either. They don't have a clue what he's thinking until he vetoes something. They can't get in to see him. So he's just the invisible governor unless there's a photo op. And one of the things Dave sometimes says is the most dangerous place in Missouri is between Jay Nixon and a camera.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even Bob Purdy, I don't know if you guys saw this, made fun of him in his blog. And I mean, you can't get a lot more liberal than Bob Purdy. So he is Mr. Photo Op. So we can do better, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here and all the help that you guys can give us. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Next, we're going to hear from Bobby Brooks. She's here there's a new organization that was just formed, Women for Aiken, and she's going to tell us a few things about that.
Thank you, Frida. Appreciate the invitation. Many of you may have already heard there's a new organization, Women Standing for Todd Aiken. And I brought enough of these brochures that each lady in here, and even the fellas, can each take 10 of these and pass them out to ladies or people that you know would like to hear stories of other ladies that support Todd Aiken and why. I would like to refer you to the aiken.org website. It's on the back here, /women. And there is a 7-minute video clip on there, a 7-minute, it's beautifully done. Women that have come in and given their testimony, their story about how they believe Todd Aiken will represent them, and maybe how they met him or got to know him, what kind of impression that he's left in their lives. It's an excellent video. Each one of these ladies in the brochure are in the video. I encourage you to all go and watch that video. The group is fastly growing. The campaign itself is a major groundswell. He's just had tons of name ID on the media, so there's not anybody probably by now that doesn't know Todd Aiken's name. I'm sure everybody in here, their mind is made up that they're certainly not going to vote for Claire McCaskill, that's for sure. And all across the state, I think people are relating to Todd Aiken as, a down-to-earth, everyday kind of guy that can relate to people, and that's some of what the ladies share in the brochure. The campaign is just so professionally put together. It's being executed like lightning speed. He's just booked every single day 3, 4, and 5 meetings in places and groups and things he needs to go to and places he has to be. On this website, there'll be a calendar on there that will show you where you can go and participate in some gathering or group for ladies or women. And there's other, other campaign things where the men and the women, or the businesses can go and all, meet and get to know Todd. There's just a ton of things going on, and just at lightning speed. He's got the full support of the party behind him as of today officially. Roy Blunt is already lining up to do things for Todd. Lloyd Smith with the party in conversation today and yesterday. They've got this full-blown statewide operation ready to unfold with voter guides with each candidate's name on them, Todd at the top of the ticket. They're just going full-blown today. And so, as time goes, the next few days, you'll hear more and more of the party unity with Todd Aiken, and he's ready to go. And this brochure right here is the regular campaign brochure, and it'll show how he voted on certain issues. It's got his bullet points on here, a family photo, just all the information as to how you can contact Todd Aiken. Ladies, please go on aiken.org/women and get on the calendar and see what you can attend and see how maybe you can plug in to the campaign. We need to know what other events are coming up in this area, in the surrounding areas, what other kinds of events that we can get women to help go in and speak and do some things for women standing for Todd Aiken. Appreciate your time. Thank you. Please take some brochures.
Thanks,
sir.
Is there a question?
Yes. Do you have any hope that the U.S. Senate Campaign Committee will change their mind and give you some money?
I cannot say that they're actually going to do that, but as of today, it looks like they probably will. Roy Blunt's on now, and DeMent and some of the others, and they don't want to lose this state to McCaskill. This is an easy state to win in a Republican election. And with the environment the way it is, and Democrats are swinging over to vote for Republicans, they're going to have to help. And they know it, and they probably will. There might be one or two of them up there that might be a little stubborn or whatever, but the money I think will come down as far as some TV ads. But the way everything's going, and the groundswell, and the support that he's getting, and then the grassroots money that's coming in, all of that will be proof to the Senate fund that he can do that he's doing his share, and the people are doing their share. So the national needs to do theirs, and I believe they will. I believe they will. So,
thank you.
And he was out sprinting the primary, and he won that.
Yes, that's right. And didn't a lot of Democrats swing over and vote for him? Anyway, thank you.
Thanks, Robbie. And now for the big one. We have somebody here to talk to us about the top of the ticket. Mary Ann is making a few comments about Victory for Romney.
I'm not a policy person, so I'm an organizer, I'm a community organizer, like Bob was. I can't answer any policy questions, honestly, but what I am is I'm the grassroots coordinator for the state of Missouri. And honestly, they asked me about a month ago to put this together, so between the convention and being out of town, we got this going about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. I hate to speak in the center of the room. I'm not a policy speaker. Okay, thanks.
Never stopped Obama.
Okay, Rob. So anyway, I am here to tell you that what we've done, I don't know how many of you have Facebook pages, but we thought what we would do is we would copy what Obama did last time by using Facebook and social media to get to as many people as possible. So on this sheet of paper, I have given you the information and the Facebook page name. It's Missouri 2nd Congressional District Republicans. And if you have a Facebook page, if you can like that page, what we're finding is, as an example, we really got the 2nd Congressional District set up last week. So we had 55 likes and over 350 people saw the messages we got out. Okay, so 55 likes, 350 people saw the messages we posted. Now, if anybody here is semi-savvy on Facebook and would like to help me and put down information and put your meeting information and put on pictures on these Facebook pages, we'd love it, because we're finding any event or anything that goes on with a picture, we're getting a lot of hits on. And we can actually see how many hits and what's being hit on the administrative pages. the 8th Congressional District, who swore to God to me that they just absolutely never use Facebook. They had 2,584 hits the other day. Okay, so this is working, even though people aren't really thinking that it's going to work. It's absolutely working, and we're putting all kinds of things. I mean, this morning we put something down about Aiken and DeMint is it? And then I've got something that Santorum is now supporting him, and now I've got something that Roy Blunt is supporting him. So we're getting out the Romney information that way. So if you need anything, if you want anything, that's where you're going to find the Romney information from us. I just listened to the first statewide conference call that the Romney campaign put on for us tonight. Basically, they're saying 4-to-1 outspent by Obama to date. Okay, we could not spend any money on Romney until after he was not nominated. So now you're going to start seeing TV ads, you're going to start seeing radio ads, radio campaigns. You're going to see us spending a lot of money now. So when people are talking to her saying, oh my God, this is so depressing, it's because we couldn't spend the money yet. We couldn't get out and put up the ads. So right now, from now to the end, you're going to see a lot of advertising. And you're going to see the ratings change. You're going to see things moving. I mean, right now, today, Rasmussen was 46 to 46%, basically. I think in one of the Bush elections, Bush went into the first debate 8 points below. I think it was Al Gore. Well, once you got through the debate, everything skyrocketed and Bush won. So when you talk to people, they're depressed and they're thinking this is not working. It's working. We just have not had the funds until the last 2 weeks to really get out there and campaign with. Let's see what else I had. The debate's next Wednesday night. I hope you can all listen to that. If you have any questions or for time or any information, it'll be on our Facebook pages. It's going to be on the television. The Romney debate's going to be on TV next Wednesday night. Okay. I think it's 8 o'clock our time. The one other thing that I was going to talk about was the voter, challenger, pollster, and attorney needs that we have. And I think that Steve actually is here, Steve Davis. He's actually with the Romney campaign, the real Romney campaign, and he'll talk about that. Come on up. We'll talk about that. And does anybody have any questions about anything else?
Yeah, I might not have heard if you mentioned it when I was back there getting water, but is the Romney campaign getting signs to Missouri?
Yes.
What's the deal with the signs?
They just ordered 30,000 signs, and I think they're in.
Okay,
John,
well, are the signs going to have to buy them?
I don't know what Victory's doing about the signs, but originally they were only going to order 5,000 signs. So a gentleman named John Bennett from St. Charles, he ordered 10,000 signs the other day. Victory then came back and ordered 30,000 more, kind of overlapping him. John Bennett does have to charge for the signs, and I think he got them for, don't quote me on this, but like $1 a piece or something.
I'm part of the county, the subcommittee also in another county, and I know they're all pooling together to buy them. But I was just wondering if the campaign was going to be giving the signs to the party and then the grassroots people.
I actually don't know because I'm paralleling Victory, but I'm not involved specifically with the Victory office.
Okay.
We're doing something slightly different. I've got 8 people across the state who are Romney coordinators who are doing the trickle-down effect to the different, the different central committees. And,
we're getting them, but
St. Louis County Central Committee is buying signs together with John Bennett from.
Yeah, we did. We're doing that.
What did he tell you you're paying for those signs?
I think it's $1.
He's got the cheapest price than any of the other pools.
$1.15.
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly what it is.
It's probably around, it might be even a little less than $1. He ended up.
It's like $1.75 for the wire and sign or something like that. Cheaper
And
than
it's
the other
not,
ones.
we're not paying for them, just so you know, it has to be a donation.
You got a date?
Yes, I got a date.
We have a bucket if you guys want to make a donation, because we'll keep providing them at no charge.
My number is on the bottom of that sheet that I just passed out. We'd love to have you like our Facebook page because we can get the word out that way. There you go. Here's Steve.
I want to make one comment. Sorry, Frida.
It's okay.
Most of us in this room are over 40. I'm not going to say everybody, but most are. And my feeling is that in the legislature, anybody 40 or younger, they don't read newspapers anymore. They don't read magazines. They get all their information off their electronic device. And if we're not connected, I've got a Twitter account and a Facebook account, and I don't even know what I'm doing. So, but that's the only way you're going to reach people under the age of 40. All of our kids and grandkids are using electronic media, and we're still reading newspapers,
We
so.
need to bring these
That's
younger
right.
people in.
Exactly.
I sent out a mass email to 3,000 people last night. I can tell you that 549 of those people actually read that email. I know they opened it, I know they read it. So I know this is working. I mean, that's a really good percentage out of 3,000 to 500 and something across the state. And the other thing is, I just want to add one more thing, sorry, is we're working for everybody. I mean, we're working for you, Rick, and we're working for the local candidates, we're working for the, for the governor candidate, we're working for every Republican here. We have to get McCaskill out. We have to get Obama out. So everybody that you talk to, ask them not to split the Republican ticket. We've got to go straight Republican and get these people out. All right, all yours.
Wait,
Thanks,
who
Rita.
do we like? Do I go on there?
Oh, I have a sample ballot that I'm actually going to be putting on the Facebook page in a couple days for the state of Missouri for everybody. So if you can friend us, that sample
What
ballot.
am I friending? I don't understand.
It says Missouri 2nd Congressional District Republicans.
I
That's
search for that and then
You
I
go
like
onto
it.
Facebook and you search for that.
Is
that on here, that exact?
Yeah, it's right here, it's hard to see, but that's it.
Oh, we are
It looks like it's
sample.
part of the regular type, it
Yes.
doesn't look like it's
Yes.
a
That's what we typed in there. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
thank you.
So go ahead and like that, and then in about 2 or 3 days, we're just finishing this ballot. We'll put the sample ballot on.
All right.
Of course, it's all Republican. And it'll also have the propositions and amendments.
And then we should get our college kids to like it.
Absolutely.
And then they're
My
young people,
college
right?
And pass it to their friends.
Thanks,
That's
Mary
what
Ann.
you're saying.
Thanks, Rita.
Yeah.
I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Steve Davis. I'm the Election Day Operations Director for the state of Missouri for the Romney campaign. I'm working on manning the polls, getting poll watchers, poll workers, working with St. Louis County and other election authorities. I left cards on the table. Please call me if you're interested in being an election judge or you know someone else who is, and I'll funnel them to the county, the correct election authority. And also we need poll watchers, poll challengers, and if you know any lawyers, I'm organizing lawyers for Romney to make sure we have a free and fair election, which again helps not just Romney but the whole ticket if we have a free and fair election here in Missouri. To be roving attorneys, both poll workers, and to rove around to different polling sites in case we have a problem or any issues that come up. And, yes.
Steve, there's been a problem in some previous elections with college students going in on the day of the election in certain states and voting there, and then also having voted absentee in their home state, and they don't tell the college state that they're voting in on election day that they've already voted.
Right.
Is there any way we can track this down?
Well, we are trying to track absentee applications, absentee voter applications, and that's another reason why we need a Republican poll challenger in as many polling places as possible, because it's in the polling book whether someone has requested an absentee ballot.
Right.
So we just need to watch that.
The problem is, say a kid from Ohio
Right.
and voted absentee in Ohio. Obama people did this in their primary in 2008 against Hillary. They voted in one state where they were from, and then they were going to college in another state. And on election day, in that particular state, they were allowed to register and vote that particular day. And they claimed that they had not registered anywhere else. And they didn't. The new state didn't ask them where they were from, or if they did, they said, "Oh, we're from here," or whatever. I'm just saying, I think it's more of an issue than.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can, in Missouri, you can register and vote on the same day.
No,
You can't. I know that.
Right. And we're working with the election authorities on that issue, and they, in St. Louis County, they're very good about checking voter registration. We are watching that.
And on that same subject, I guess you guys are all on top of it, ever how it works with the military.
Yes.
Overseas votes.
Yes.
That's always a
Yes.
problem.
Yeah, and St. Louis County got their overseas ballots sent out a day early. So, and I'm watching that around the state with every county. So that's what we're doing. We're on top of it.
What's the debt? Oh, I'm sorry.
And absentee voting has started. It started yesterday. So now we're really going. And I was privileged to vote for Elizabeth yesterday.
First voter ahead.
What's the deadline to register?
October 10th. Postmarked by October 10th if it's a mail-in registration.
And you can request an absentee ballot all the way up to the end of October. All right. Thank you. I just have a few more announcements and then we can all have some wine.
Not until the fun
Oh,
master
yes.
gets up there.
We have yard signs. Just about every candidate, I think I'm missing Dave Spence, have yard signs back, including Brownie. We have campaign literature and bumper stickers. I have a flyer. Everybody says, well, what can I do? You can make phone calls and you can go on lit drops, and I have information on it. What can I do? Go to the victory office and make phone calls, call Mitch or Zach, this is his name, it's on there. Plus you can call Mitch, one of the guys that was here, and he arranges the lit drops. Don't forget to call those people. It's very easy. They arrange everything for you. Okay? And it has a map of the victory office on the back of it.
And Frida, the lit drops, you're just dropping literature at the door. You're not knocking on the door.
Right.
There's a difference. So a lot of people
A lot
don't
easier.
like to do door knocking. But lit dropping, you're just walking and leaving the literature at the door and going to the next.
Of course, if somebody
It's great.
talks to you, you can talk to them, but you can just drop the stuff off. I have absentee voting applications in the back, if you want to vote absentee. I have voter registration cards. Is everybody registered to vote? In your family? Pick up a voter registration card. And I have one more thing, a request to Rick. I don't know if you're aware of it, but there's a lot of us that are very concerned about what is going on with education and the Common Core standards that are being pushed down to the states. And Mitt Romney, as the first candidate ever, came out a few days ago. He went to an education conference and said he was opposed to Common Core standard. That is great news. So I have a sample letter back there, and we want to send it to Rick so he can take it to the Missouri legislature and understands and knows how we feel about Common Core standards. The Missouri DESE, or Department of Education, has signed off the Common Core, and we need them to reverse that. And we now have a president that stands behind it. It's very important. Yes?
Along those lines, Frida, one of the things that Jay Nixon said during the debate last Friday was that he supports Common Core standards, and they're also an unfunded mandate. So
we don't.
The legislature is against them, so we're trying to figure out how we're going to either defund the effort. We've done some things already.
So we want to send a letter to Rick so he knows people are behind it if he is opposed to it. Yes?
As a teacher, questions are a pain in the rear. We had to, I felt like I was writing a business letter or research paper. I had to take everything I had and had to follow at least one of these core things, and this had to be here, and this, it was like, how can I teach? You know? Do I have to have everything? Yeah, it's just, I felt like the government was really getting in my way.
It is not going to get in
The federal government.
One more thing I'd like to mention, you see Bob back there taping everything. Jefferson Township has a website, so in a couple of days you can go there and look up the video for tonight.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yes.
Can I make one comment?
Yes?
I just checked with the Victory office in Benton, and they are not charging for signs. You can walk in and get signs, but if you need a lot of signs, they ask you to let them know, and they need to talk to Jeff City to get them from there.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's it.
What's the address of the website?
Before you finish, we
What is it, Bob?
jtgop.com.
jttop.com.
JTGOP.com. And now we have the Funmeister
I'm going to
taking
go on
over.
just to see how I videotape, you know? I would like to, as my job as a Funmeister, it's to make sure that you come back. So in doing that, I'd like to offer a couple gifts, but also stick around for our wine and cheese, and that's always fun too, where we can actually, socialize with one another. But because Mary Catherine came with a bad cold tonight, I'm going to offer her this gift that I've got to take the price tag off. But I won't look. Okay. But I thank you for coming, even though you're not, you're under the weather. Now, the other thing I have, I don't know,
just one brag item. I found out today that according to Coldwell Banker, Glendale is the 22nd most desirable community to live in the country. So that's good for all you.
Too bad I'm not in Glendale.